So, Satya, clicking on this, Mustafa has said that 2025 will be the year of infinite memory. And Bill and I have talked a lot, dating back to the start of this year, that we think the next 10x function, it sounds like you agree, on ChatGPT is really, this persistent memory combined with being able to take some actions on our behalf. So we're already seeing the starts of memory. And I'm pretty convinced as well that 2025, where, it seems like that one's pretty well solved. But this question of actions, when am I going to be able to say to ChatGPT, book me the Four Seasons in Seattle next Tuesday at the lowest price, right? And Bill and I, have gone back and forth on this one. And it would seem that computer use is the early, test case for that. But do you have any sense? Does that seem like a hard one from here to you?
Yeah, I mean, the most open-ended action space is still hard. But to your point, there are two things or maybe three things that are really exciting beyond, I'll just say, I'm sure we'll talk about it, the scaling laws itself and capabilities of the raw models. One is memory. The other is tools use or actions. And the other one I would say is even entitlements, right? Which is, what can you one of the most interesting products we have even is Purview inside of Microsoft, because increasingly, what do you have permissions to? What can you get? You have to be able to access things in a safe way. Somebody needs to have governance on it and what have you. So if you put all those three things together, and this agent is going to then be more governable, and when it comes to actions, it is verifiable, and then it has memory, then I think you're off to a very different place where for doing more autonomous work, so to speak. I still think one of the things I always think is I like this Copilot as the UI for AI, because even in a fully autonomous world, from time to time, you'll raise exceptions, you'll ask for permission, you'll ask for invocation, what have you. And so therefore, this UI layer will be the organizing layer. In fact, that's kind of why we think of Copilot as the organizing layer for work artifacts, and workflow. But to your fundamental point, I don't think the models, I take even 4.0, right? Not even going to 0.1. 4.0 is pretty good with function calling. So you can do in the enterprise setting significant more so than consumer, because consumer web function calling is just hard. Where at least in an open-ended web, you can do it for a couple of websites. But once you say, hey, let's go book me a ticket on anything, and if there's schema changes on the back end and so on, it'll trip over. You can teach it that. That's where I think O1 can get better if it's a verifiable, auto-gradable sort of process on Rails. But I think we are maybe a year to 2 years away from doing more and more. But I think at least from an enterprise perspective, going and doing, here's my sales agent, here's my marketing agent, here's my supply chain agent, which can do more of these autonomous tasks. We built 10 or 15 of them into Dynamics, right? Even looking into sort of my supplier communications and automatically handling my supplier communications, updating my databases, changing my inventories, my apply. Those are the kinds of things that you can do today, I would say.
The Mustafa made this comment about near infinite memory, and I'm sure you heard it or hear it internally.